a great addition over the next 6 weeks. And, you know, somebody asked me whether I think he'll be a major league player at some point. I think he will play in the major leagues. That's my guess. That's my hope. And to some extent now, after a year and a half, a modest expectation. So I'm happy he's here. I think he's great for the team. I think he's great for baseball. He was phenomenal for minor league baseball last year. And the notion that he should have been excluded from the game because he's not coming through the traditional sources, I think is crazy. This is entertainment too. And he quietly entertains us.
Phenomenal.
There you had it. He capped it off. This is entertainment, and he's entertaining. That's what this
Well,
is.
he's not entertaining if he swings and
Whoa,
misses.
whoa,
Right?
whoa, Skip, not your turn. I didn't ask you nothing. I didn't say
Well, you didn't even let Joy ask the
No,
question.
I want to do
So, since it was just free
Hey,
for
no,
all,
it's
I
not
just
free-
jumped in
No,
too.
I don't want you to jump.
Joy,
What's
did you ask the
going on
question?
here,
Thank
Shannon?
you.
No, I did not think
You
so.
know what's going on. This is a joke, Skip Bayless. This is about selling jerseys. This is about selling tickets because they're the Mets. Can you imagine the Yankees, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Cardinals, or the Dodgers, teams with storied histories? We're not talking about the Miracle Mets of '69. We're not talking about '86 because those are their two moments. That's what we're talking about. And now, Joy, you mentioned it. Despite, Joy said, despite, and I know it hurt Joy to read that in that copy, despite hitting 226, despite having a 309 on base percentage, despite making 10 errors, he's still getting an opportunity. This is almost like getting D's and F's and getting promoted, while the guys in AAA that's making B's and C's, here we are stagnant. I don't have a problem. I understand this is an unorthodox method. But if he was worthy, I got no problems with him being promoted. Dirk Nowitzki did not go to college. Dirk Nowitzki, unconventional. Dirk showed you he deserved to be there. In no metrics, by his own base percentage, his slugging percentage, his strikeout to walks, nothing says that Tim Tebow should ever play in the minor leagues. But because he's Tim Tebow, oh, Tim Tebow, we just love Tim Tebow. He's so devout. I get all that. If he wanted to be a cardinal, he wanted to be a Catholic priest, Tim Tebow's the guy. But as far as play, if he wanted to be that, but not this.
Confused.
No, I ain't confused. No, I didn't confuse. No, I didn't.
Get it straight. Get it right.
I'm evangelical. If he wanted to be the high,
mix the two.
But the analogy is, if he was going to do something as far as religion, how about that?
Okay.
And not sports, because by all metrics, he was a bust in the NFL, and he's getting afforded opportunities that he should not, because his play has not warranted him moving up. Period.
Interesting. He was a bust in the NFL.
Bust!
I recall, Joy, back in 2011, Denver Broncos team. You played for the Broncos,
I played
right?
for the Broncos.
That was dead in the water at 1-4 with Kyle Orton at quarterback, and John Elway had just taken over the team. John Fox was the coach, and they got together and said, let's just get this over with. Let's throw him into the fire, and he'll embarrass himself, and we'll be done with him. Tim Tebow, right?
Yeah.
So they threw him into the fire at Miami, and what happened? Overtime happened, and a victory happened.
They won.
And then all of a sudden,
he
they
won like
kept running.
7 or 8
Wait, and they came from 1-4 to win the division, the AFC West. Tim Tebow won it and turned their rushing attack into the leading rushing attack in all of pro football. And then they won a home playoff game against Big Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers.
So
Is that the bust that you're talking about?
So a quarterback selected in the first round.
Interesting.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Interesting.
So in all my time, so a quarterback selected in the first round that wins one playoff game, he's giving you the value for which you selected him at.
He won the division.
I just asked you.
He got one shot. He did that. Okay. And in the last 5 minutes of all those games he played in 2011, he had the #1 QBR in all of football. Wow, that's interesting.
How many games?
Bust.
How many games?
Bust, said Shannon
How
Sharp.
many games did he start after that point?
Well, he didn't get a chance.
Whoa! What you mean he didn't get a
Yeah,
chance?
Rex Ryan, according to Tim, told me that Rex Ryan told him he was going to get a 50-50 chance to play quarterback for the New York Jets, and Tim never got a chance to play
The
quarterback.
Jaguars told him they give him 100% chance.
Oh, well, he should have taken that job, I guess. So let's get back to the question. This is not a publicity stunt.
It is.
This is the real deal. This is the Mets bringing a player to big league camp who showed them flashes of big league ability in his first year in pro baseball, in Class A, lower and then higher A ball in the same year. And it was his first year of playing baseball since his junior year of high school 10 years before. And I know you know enough about the game of baseball to know it is by far the hardest game to learn at the pro level, right?
It is.
It takes time. And I can go back and show you a whole bunch of former MVPs in baseball, MVPs, who in their first year of pro baseball in Class A put up numbers that are strikingly similar to Tim Tebow's. I'm looking at the careers of Miggy Cabrera, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Sandberg, Josh Donaldson. These are all MVPs. Joey Votto.
This
Go
man
back.
compared Tim
Yeah.
Tebow.
Go back and look at their Class A stats. Go back and they look a lot like Tim Tebow's stats. But you could see flashes of brilliance. You could see flashes of big league ball player in all of them. I can throw in guys who didn't win MVP. Go back and look at Derek Jeter's Class A stats and tell me what you see. You see Tim Tebow, Carlos Beltran. How about Nelson Cruz? How about Brandon Phillips? Go back and look at their Class A stats and tell me what you see.
How arrogant?
He hadn't played in 10 years.
Think about this. How arrogant must you be that the sport that you've been playing for the last 20 years, that you supposedly perfected, you couldn't succeed at that, and you're going to cross over into another sport?
Well, the first sport rejected him and never gave him another chance after
that's not true.
he won the
That's
division.
not true. That's not true.
That's interesting.
No, the NFL rejected Colin Kaepernick. He never got another chance.
Okay.
The Jets, the Patriots, the Eagles say otherwise to Tim Tebow.
Did anybody else give him a chance to start a football game? No, not one. Not one.
Come on.
Not after what he did. So we look at the flashes we saw from Tim Tebow last year, and we saw him, let's go back to the Arizona Fall League. He closed strong at the end of that with a 9 for 32 over his last 11 games. That was pretty good. And then he got promoted from low A to high A. That's pretty great, I would have to say. And he had a 12-game hitting streak in July. That's pretty good. That's where the Mets are saying, wait a second, maybe we got something here. And then he capped off the season in his final 6 games, going 9 for his last 24, which is credible. And you say, okay, so he hit 8 home runs. He showed you a little pop, and he was an adequate outfielder, decent athlete.
He had 10
decent
errors.
speed. Huh?
He had 10 errors.
Adequate.
I'm not
He's got
asking
a
him to
good
be
arm.
Roberto Clemente or Willie
He's adequate.
Mays.
He could play big league outfield. He could play left field.
Skip. The man had 10 errors in 143 games.
It's not terrible. I can show you worse than that. I can show you a lot worse than
They're
that.
not in the majors.
Well, I can show you. I'll bet I can find a bunch of Class A players that had more than 10 errors.
And guess what? And Sandy Alston's not saying they're going to play in the majors either. No, they're exactly right.
So,
thank you for making my point.
The Mets have let Tim Tebow's people know that he will get a chance in the big league camp to sink or swim. And he's going to have to live up. If he falls on his face, he will fall out of baseball. But they're going to give him the chance to prove that he at least belongs in Double-A this year. It's escalated because he's obviously already 30 years of age, so they're going to see what they can see. And they know that his intangibles are high because every time he was put in a clutch situation, a late game, gotta-do-it situation, as a football player with the ball in his hands, not good things happened, great things kept happening. So they're thinking, gee, could we maybe get a couple of big hits in September out of Tim Tebow? Yeah, you could.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You don't talk about that last game at home against the Chiefs where he completed 4 passes and they lost. You don't talk about...
They won the division. What's the scoreboard say? Wait, when you open your restaurant for division winners, who got to go in and sit at your restaurant? Wait a second. The Denver Broncos under Tim Tebow won the division and won a playoff game.
And he's been able to...
And you called him a bust? How could you call him a bust?
Matt Castle won the division also. Is he not a bust?
But he's pretty good. I told you he was pretty good.
Pretty good.
He made the Pro Bowl.
This is what I love about you, Skip. You love, see, what you try to do, And you do it very well. You talk about the
I
last.
do it successfully
You do it
because
successfully.
you're
No,
backed
but
into a
see,
corner
but
you
this
can't
is
get
where
out of.
Joy, the thing that I've been blessed with is tremendous recall. Because over those 2 leagues in which he played in, he played 143 games. Now, Skip only talked about the last 11. But over the 143,
What you have to
hold
do
on,
in
Skip.
Class A, you have to say, look at the flashes.
I'm talking about.
I just gave you 10 former MVPs.
Whoa.
Look at their Class A stats. Should they have been sent home? No.
Skip,
Miggy Cabrera, should they said, Miggy, go home?
So now,
Go home.
Now he gonna be Miggy?
I'm not saying he's Miggy, but you could see flashes of these guys. They won MVPs.
Yeah, those guys did that at 18, not at 30.
He might as well be 18 at 30 because he's never played. He didn't even play
a grown, rusty, old-ass man.
He did not even play his senior year of high school.
Skip.
Do you know how hard that was
Can I
to
finish?
get thrown into the fire with all those bonus baby kids?
You mentioned the last 11 games, but over those 2 leagues he played in 143 games, he had 484 plate appearances. He batted .226 with a .309 on base, and he had 10 errors in the field. So by any metric, Billy Bean, I want to call Billy Bean. Billy Bean, can I get your number? Because I want you to call, because he knows, he break that thing down.
I'm close friends with him.
Okay, when you call him and say, what business does Tim Tebow have in the major league with those numbers? What do you think he's going to say, Skip?
He'd say, I look at Class A stats for streaks. I look for blips. I see bursts of big league ability. And I say, oh, I'm going to promote that guy to high A. And I'll see more bursts. And if I see more bursts, I'm going to promote him to double A. And if you see bursts from Tim Tebow, little blips and some like a game here or game there in the big league camp, you say, let's send him to double A where the competition goes up a level, and let's see if he can continue to learn the game of baseball. Hasn't played for 10 years.
So now you can have, man, I sure wish I could have a game, Joy, where I catch like 5 passes, and then the next I drop like 6 or 7 for the next 3 or 4 games, then catch 5 more passes. I wonder how long I'll be in the NFL. Not very long.
There's no minor leagues, though. There's no, you didn't go
college.
to the minor league.
Called college is minor league for football.
All right.
Skip, Skip, look, I don't want people to think I don't like Tim Tebow, because I got no problem with Tim Tebow.
This isn't about him personally.
I'm just saying, thank you. All I'm saying is that these numbers does not match with someone being elevated to a higher level when he's not succeeding at the lower level. That's all I'm saying. By no metric or analytic should he be promoted.
What you cannot discount is what he proved on the football field intangibly.
Different sport.
All he did was win. All he did was win. All he did in college was win. He won a Heisman Trophy, he won national championships.
He got the doors blown, and he got the doors blown off him by Alabama. Yeah. He got the doors blown off him by the Pats. He couldn't make it to the Jets. He couldn't make it at the Pats. He couldn't make it at the Eagles. He couldn't make it at the Eagles when Chip Kelly, the Bears...
League rejected him. They don't like him. They don't like him for all the reasons you don't like him.
Why?
I think he's a sideshow. It becomes a media distraction for the locker room.
Well, I will say the league, if Colin Kaepernick gets 3 more opportunities, and then maybe I'll say, okay, but Colin Kaepernick...
Very different situation, but also rejected by the league.
He won a division, went to the Super Bowl.
We've talked about that, and I completely agree. But you also have to agree that Tim Tebow got rejected by the National Football League.
His ability to throw consistently and
I watched him throw consistently accurately for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Chip Kelly at the last second said no. And signed some guy I'd never even heard of.
And I told you what would Skip. I just looked.
Media circus. They don't like it. Out.
Skip, if you saw him...
Sandy Alderson doesn't care. He's only been around baseball for like 50 years.
If I were to take you to a practice and you did not know who that was, Joey, and he was throwing the ball, you was like, they let somebody... This must be Fan Appreciation Day, and they let some fan throw the ball.
Yep. And then what happened in the last 5 minutes of the games?
But the games are 55 minutes, and the defense had to play out of their mind.
Who won the bulk of those games, though?
Skip.
Who won that division? Help me out. Who won the division?
The Broncos won.
And who was the most important player on that team? It was Tim Tebow. The defense wasn't that good that year.
Yes, they were.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna get the Bears running out of bounds twice to stop the clock, and you'll get
what happens with a short menu of wins and losses?
What happens?
He won.
Help me out.
And then he tried to open a pop-up shot in the Jets, got closed out. He opened one in Philly.
I guess Shannon would have closed the doors to Tim Tebow.
Huh?
You can't come to my restaurant. You can win all you want, but you can't come to my restaurant. Right?
Yeah, they gave
What
him
it sounds like.
They gave him the opportunity. It just didn't happen, Skip. So
Interesting.
now it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, now you got people up there thinking, man, Tim Tebow like Bo Jackson. Tim Tebow like Dion.
Nobody thinks that.
Yeah, you
Nobody's
think
going to lose their job over it. He's going to have to perform or he won't.
It's
Next
sink
up,
or swim.
LeBron James won the All-Star Game MVP.